Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for December 17th, 2012. It's currently 9:17 a.m. And as you can see, throughout much of the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area, we have overcast skies, some drizzle, some fog, and also temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 30s over the interior to the lower to mid 40s over much of the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan areas. We're going to be dealing with a damp, raw day today with temperatures basically trapped in the mid to upper 40s over the interior, upper 40s to lower 50s right along the immediate coast. And of course, we're going to be dealing with a northeasterly wind anywhere from 5 to 15 miles per hour, gusting at times to 20 miles per hour as another storm approaches from the south and west. Let's take a look at the latest radar, and you can see we have one batch of rainfall exiting out into New England. We're dry right now for the most part as far as steady rain over the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area, but we're still going to be dealing with a few scattered showers and widely scattered showers throughout the afternoon. And then we have our next batch of moderate to heavy rain starting to develop over portions of the southeast and the Tennessee River Valley. That's going to lift through this evening with moderate to heavy rainfall. We can see on the infrared satellite picture our next disturbance that is organizing here over the southern Mississippi River Valley. That's going to lift northeast towards the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. Now, this storm track is going to lead to widespread rainfall throughout the entire region. The reason why is that we just cannot get the cold air trapped in here because we have a lack of high pressure now over the Canadian Maritimes. That high pressure system is lifted too far to the north to have a dramatic impact. We still see some what's called cold air damming that has set up over New England and over the northern Mid-Atlantic to prevent the warmest air from driving into the region, but still not cold enough to support any frozen precipitation unless you're in New England, where they are getting some snow and freezing rain and a rather nasty commute this morning. So this storm's going to lift north and east, producing widespread heavy rainfall, and then this high pressure system will take hold by tomorrow evening and tomorrow afternoon, with falling temperatures and winds picking up anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour with higher gusts. Taking a look at the water vapor satellite picture, you can see this train of storms. It's basically diving through the west, cutting through the Mississippi River Valley, and then lifting northeast along the east coast and over the eastern Great Lakes. Now, this storm track basically ranges from the St. Lawrence River Valley to basically the Hudson River Valley. And that storm track naturally leads to, well, rain for much of the eastern United States, especially for the New York City and Philadelphia metropolitan area because the track is to the west. If you're looking for snow, what you want to see is just a slight shift in this trough a little bit more to the east. You have to get rid of this ridge here. You have to keep this here, which is basically our polar vortex starting to develop over Canada. Keep this here, which is our negative NAO pattern, and then you have your winter storm pattern. Is that going to develop? I think it will, but again, this doesn't happen overnight, and I did warn that this type of pattern would develop. So this is not really that much of a surprise. It's one of the hallmarks of this type of weather pattern where you're driven mostly by stratospheric influences and your convection over the Pacific is more sporadic in nature. Sometimes you get a storm track like this, and then when the convection fires in the Pacific, well, then you get your active winter storm pattern. So that's pretty much where we are right now as far as this weather pattern as a whole. Taking a look at the latest model guidance from the European model guidance from the Penn State EWOL website, an excellent website for your model needs. You can see for this evening, here's our high pressure system way up in Quebec. It's not going to have a strong enough influence to keep cold air trapped even over the interior. But notice if you're in New England, especially in Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, that cold air is going to be an issue. And you can see the influence of that. Now, again, if this high pressure system was down here, we'll be talking about a completely different setup. But we don't have that 500 millibar pattern just right. We just have this upper level a little bit too far to the north and east to really support that type of weather pattern. That's why we're seeing rain instead of snow over the interior and more of a wintry mix potential along the coast if this was a little bit further south and west. So it is what it is. Here's our storm lifting northeast Again, tonight, look for moderate heavy rain. Now, that low pressure system will eventually redevelop along the coast just to the east of Long Island. We're going to see drying conditions tomorrow afternoon, and our temperatures are going to be falling through the 40s into the 30s with winds picking up nicely, anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour. So it's going to feel a lot colder tomorrow evening than it will when you're leaving tomorrow morning. So be prepared to bring a jacket with you and be prepared for colder temperatures as you're leaving work or school tomorrow evening. Thereafter, high pressure will be in control through at least, I'd say, about Thursday. After Thursday evening, we'll see clouds increase, and we'll see an area low pressure once again lift up from the plains into the eastern Great Lakes towards the St. Lawrence River Valley. We'll see an area low pressure try to redevelop along the coast, but the primary low will clearly be over the St. Lawrence River Valley, and as a result, we'll see moderate to heavy rain once again on Friday afternoon and evening. That rain will drive through and exit by early Saturday morning, and we'll have high pressure in control for this weekend with chilly weather conditions. See, high pressure in control, it should be actually a very windy weekend as well. So look for temperatures basically in the upper 30s to low 40s, but they're going to feel like the upper 20s to lower 30s because it's going to be very, very windy. As you can see with our storm parked over the Canadian Maritimes here, and that strong pressure gradient over the Philadelphia, New York City metropolitan area. So if you've been waiting for winter-like temperatures, well, they're on the way for this upcoming weekend, and it's going to feel a lot worse because we are so used to temperatures in the 40s and 50s. Also, if you're around the Great Lakes, especially eastern Great Lakes, watch out for lake effect snow, especially to the southwest of Lake Ontario and Lake Erie. Could get rather nasty over there with this low pressure system parked the way it is. So there we have our high pressure trying to build in. That low pressure system is going to remain parked. You know, I would not be surprised with all this cold air setting up over this weekend, especially on Sunday with the heart of the cold air sitting up right over the Ohio River Valley to the Mid-Atlantic. If we see some convective snow showers try to work their way into the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. Nothing widespread. I'm just saying that you have these disturbances rotating around this low. It wouldn't be surprised if you see some snow showers work their way in and produce a little bit of a snow flurry action, maybe even a brief accumulation of via the snow showers with this type of setup. Thereafter, here's our next disturbance we're going to keep an eye on. Now, we're going to have to watch to see how this whole pattern sets up, because as we move forward in time, we have to see where this locks in. Very similar setup to what we're seeing today. If this sets up in this fashion with this upper level low here, that leads to high latitude blocking and forces a high pressure system to lock in over the St. Lawrence River Valley. Notice how the cold air bleeds down. That also leads to our area low pressure being forced towards the east coast and not being able to cut up towards the St. Lawrence River Valley. So, depending on how this sets up, and depending on also how the Pacific sets up, yeah, we could see a pretty impressive storm right after Christmas. But there's a lot of moving parts here, so let's not jump the gun just yet and get overexcited. Is there potential for storms? Hey, I told you this winter was going to be very stormy. But how these disturbances interact and how the Pacific sets up with each one of these storms and each one of these disturbances in the North Atlantic is going to be key on determining how each storm is going to develop. There is no set. It's going to be above normal snow, below normal snow. Each storm is basically its own environment. And so you have to watch each one of these storms, as they could easily be rainstorms or significant snowstorms, depending on how each one of these moving parts set up. So something to certainly keep an eye on. Well, that is your forecast discussion for today. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. We'll follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter and Facebook. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there.